DJ Tre, and we are here. It's the Nearest Exit podcast, and I'm going. Let's get right into it. We're gonna be short with the intros. We got Dre Sr. in the building, Dalosfactor, A1, the LP, Chris Cobbins, Chris Cobbins, whatever you want to call it. Man, and we are here again with another episode of the Nearest Exit podcast. Glad to be here.
He dropped the lead on.
I see what you did. You put mad exits on your shirt to be on the podcast. I see what you did.
Oh,
I see what you did.
No, I just did this to let him know where he was at.
You know what time it is.
This cake got 3 streets.
They all right there. That's the thing. They all right there.
You can't figure out how to get done. You my directions about all.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
I'm on 34th and Brown. I don't know how to get Cleveland Road. I'm about to get to Cleveland Road. I'm on 34th and Brown. What's that? I'm gonna park state.
Hey, that's some real stuff. Cause I'm thinking about it. Every place I've been in Kansas is on one of them streets.
Yeah.
My church was all day. My church was all state. Macedonia was all state. It wasn't all state.
Now listen, but those are streets you can go off on. You know, in Missouri, you know, you can't go down Troops.
No.
Can't go down Tracy. Can't go down. End up
the wrong way on the one way.
Yeah, end up nah. You can't go down.
That's like being on Troops lately.
I am. Troops nice.
It's gentrification. It's Troops.
It's hard.
It's mad birds.
It's hard. Right now it's mad construction.
It's mad white people babies on Troops.
I seen a lot of yoga pants out there.
Absolutely.
Yorkies.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. It's that type of time.
You go back 2 blocks over, you back in the hood.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I was thinking. You know what I'm saying?
Super fast.
Yeah.
If you throw your frisbee too far.
Hey.
Leave it. Hey, drop the front. Leave it.
Got another one.
It's okay. No, it's okay.
Short leash for that
Kyle, let's go. It's okay. We can have it.
You better have a drone on your frisbee to get that money and bring it back. Because you lost your frisbee.
Let's go.
Why is it Kyle? It's not free.
Because you know Kyle. Kyle's playing disc golf. You know Kyle.
Every gentrification project.
In an hour. Don't worry about it. I already get submit on
Every gentrified townhome has a cow in it. That's a fact.
Facts.
You know that.
That's a fact.
All right.
Hey, these ones kind of hidden, bro.
I know they are. Don't worry about it. Some people have stipulations that they had to have water and fruit snacks, you know, for the
And preferred seating.
but in preferred seating. But we gonna
you
you know what I'm saying? But I'm accommodating, you know what I'm saying? I make sure everybody got what they need. Let's get right into it.
Let's get it.
So this week, like last Friday, was it Friday?
Friday.
Last Friday.
It's in the afternoon, bro. They come out.
Mr. Kanye West, Yeezy, not Yeezus anymore.
No, we can't do that.
We can't do that anymore.
That's cool.
Okay,
I never called him that.
dropped a project, Jesus is King.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Now, this has been going crazy all
Super
over the internet. And listen, I have like points, but let's just get to the conversation. Like, cause I don't know where we want to start. Cause I think we're gonna hit all of them, you know, on this journey that we're gonna go in. So let's just start off with initial reactions, like from like when you heard the project, or you know, as we was leading up to the joint. We can like go from there and start digging from there.
I'll start off. Man, at first, it came out, and I was hearing everybody talk about it. I was just listening to it. I mean, I was hearing everybody talking about it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You just want to get out of bed. I got it.
I get
it.
Man,
Jump in, Eddie. Go ahead.
When I first heard everybody was talking about this mug, and I'm like, man, eventually I'm gonna have to listen to this mug. Like I'm gonna have to listen to his album. So I listened to it, push play on it, and it was like I listened to it. It was short. I was like, because you know, after music when it's done, like it just stop playing. You don't hear nothing else. I'm like, what next song at? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But the album sounds like a new Christian album, like a person recently got saved album. That's exactly how it sounds. And so it has a million scriptures, like a million Jesuses in there, has scriptures in there. It's got this, the whole album.
Yeah.
So it's like, it sounds basically like how I expect it to sound. So,
well, for me, it was hard for me to give an opinion on how I feel about it because I'm listening to it with an ear just for a love for music, and I'm also listening to it as a believer. You know what I mean? So there's some parts of it that's just like, I'm super excited because it's a new believer. You know what I mean? And rather than you think it's genuine or not, we'll probably get into that conversation. Yeah. But whatever, as a believer, whenever somebody comes to the faith, it's always exciting. You know what I mean? And so, I've been a Kanye fan since way back.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
My producer rap like since the
original Through the Wire.
Right.
So and so on one hand I'm enjoying that, but on the other hand I'm listening to it from a musical ear, and just as a Kanye fan, does this live up to that level of artistry? You know what I mean? And so I will not say that it's up there with his greatest albums. It's nowhere near that. It's not Ye though. Ye was trash. So it's not terrible. I just say it's a good album. Like, I'm not gonna say it's great. It's got moments where there's some songs on the album that I'm just like, that's my joint. You know what I mean? Like, On God is fire to me. I love On God. I like the beat to On God. Everything We Need, fire to me. Water is amazing.
Water
was a grower. The first day I heard it, I'm like, but the second day I was like, yo, this song is amazing.
Nah, I was on Water the first day. I thought that was that was fire.
The song with Fred Hammond, fam, it's Kanye, the GOAT of all Christian music, which is Fred Hammond.
Come on, talk about it.
I got a gripe on that.
Come on, talk about it.
Singing with synthesized vocals over. How am I not gonna like this song? Like, it's like catnip for me. And then what's the song with the clips?
Use This Gospel.
Use This Gospel. Yeah. It's the clips rapping about drug life. That's always great, first and foremost. Nobody raps about drug life better than Pusha T. Nobody. I think Malice watched him on this album though. Malice verse.
But have you heard the leak though? You the leak Pusha T verse?
I've heard about them, but I haven't heard them.
I gotta send it to you.
Is that the one on the same song?
Different song. I think it might be Follow God.
Yes, I heard about that. I heard it's fire. I gotta hear that. Somebody got to sing that.
Hey, bro. Whoever got that gotta leak that verse.
But Follow God is one of those songs where it's like, I don't like the song. As a believer, I'm feeling Kanye what he's talking about. I don't like the song. I don't like what's the one everybody, the Chick-fil-A joint?
Yeah.
I don't like that song.
I like that.
People love that joint.
We're going track by track, right? We're going track by track.
No, we're not going track. We wasn't going track.
He went into the bar breakdown.
He went in this job.
He goes into the complex conversation.
So we're not gonna disrespect closed on Sunday, because that I felt that in my spirit area.
I second a lot. I didn't like On God. That's probably gonna be an unpopular opinion, but that one didn't really.
That's the Fred Hammond one?
No, it's On God.
That's the one after Close on Sunday, I think.
Yeah, right. That ain't one of my ones. That's like one of the only ones that I didn't really feel. Not because I thought it was whack, it just didn't hit me. The joint with Fred Hammond made me a little irritated because it sounded like Fred Hammond is auto-tuned a little bit. And I don't like that. I don't want to hear Fred Hammond auto-tuned.
So you hearing that from you hearing
Ty Dolla $ign when he's on auto-tune, I'm fine with it. I want to hear Ty Dolla $ign.
But Fred don't need it.
Don't put that on Fred. Fred already got the sauce.
Yeah.
Like, just leave him bare. But it's a Ye album and he's trying to blend the sound. I get it.
Yeah.
The joint that is probably my favorite right now is it's either the Water joint, because it's just amazing. And then Everything We Need, he just said a couple lines in there. The apple juice.
Oh, come on, son. I was sitting there, I did my car work on, and I heard that and I was like, I literally screamed like, oh my God. The dude looked at me like, you good? I'm like, fam, that was hard.
I was at work listening to it and I was like, oh. I ran it back because I want to make sure I heard it right. was like, yo, that's a line.
That was crazy.
And then the way they used it, you got everything.
Oh, that was perfect.
My favorite is what's the one? That joint.
That's Follow God.
Is that Follow God?
Oh no, Follow God.
That's my favorite one. That's my favorite one right now because it gave me the vibe of an old Kanye.
It did.
Like Graduation.
Yeah, the beat for that song was stupid.
It gave me that vibe. But
I didn't like Kanye rapping on it though.
But I thought the opening up apart from the intro, which I can't deal with. I get you trying to highlight the coward. You just trying to highlight
the choir.
The choir.
You don't like that?
Nah.
Bruh, listen, the reason I know that song is hard. Hey, that's the reason I kept going. That's the reason I kept going.
Listen, I was like, is this something else? Like,
listen.
In the beginning, I'm listening. I'm like, okay,
but that's not just the choir singing.
Now what? What's happening?
That's not just the choir singing. If I'm listening right, it sounds like a choir singing. He sped it up and played it like a sample. That's why I liked it because you can tell that the sound is sped up.
I thought it was a sample.
I think it's somebody. I think he had them come and sing it, and then he sampled it up. Like I've seen like John Bellion do that. Like he'll have somebody play live, put it in the sample machine, and then sample what they just
I
played.
needed something else there, and also I will say that it's kind of the same feeling on Coast on Sunday. It's like because there was no beat, there was no bass drop or something. Like I kept waiting for it to drop, and it never happened. So I had those were even though I'm kind of being facetious about the close on Sunday because it's Chick-fil-A and that's my spot. But like those two songs, just like I kept on like, and there's nothing happened, and there was nothing happened. But that's just me. But
so hold on. So I want to, since we're not going track by track, I gotta kind of get.
It was so this is supposed to get in your bag, son. Get in your bag, son.
This is not going track by track. So
the Conway number one.
Let me pull up my track list.
I need to get mine too.
Listen, like. This is I agree with Drake. It's a good album. It's not a great album.
Mm-hmm.
There are a couple of things where, like, for example, I wanted drums on Close on Sunday. Mm-hmm. I wanted drums on Close on Sunday. I wanted more for Kanye, a guy who's given us Jesus Walks, who's given us Ultralight Beam, a guy who's taken us into his life, into his mind. Like, you're right. This is a New Believer album. Mm-hmm. But from a musical perspective, I wanted more. Mm-hmm. I wanted more introspection. I wanted to know, what was that path like from this conversion like for you? Like I wanted him to go more in depth on that.
But I feel like that's not introduction.
I would say I feel that, but I knew he wasn't gonna do it. Like that's one of those.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
That's a second album type of thing.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. I was gonna say,
you know what I'm saying?
That's
a second album type of thing. If he does it right, he's gonna have that song. Everybody has that one song that just say, "Hey, this is what happened."
Yeah.
You know how I judge it. And in all honesty, I judge it off the progression of Dre's albums. He put out.
The fact that I'm in the conversation.
It's not just.
Just because you gotta have a great artist and then a trash artist.
Yeah, got you. You got his trash.
Because you got. But between
chill about do A1, bro. Chill about do A1, bro.
Between Justified, Juneteenth, and the Maturation, you can tell like the different places in life that person was.
That's real.
So when Justified come in, you can tell like I'm just new. I'm doing stuff for myself. Mm-hmm. I'm letting y'all know like all the stuff that I'm learning or whatever. And then you got Juneteenth. Now I'm growing a little bit more. There's still some like now we're talking about like some truths of what's happening here, and like it's more like even more evangelistic in nature. Mm-hmm. And then you get to the Maturation, which like hey, I've been in here. Life. This is more life. You know what I'm saying? I'm a whole grown man out here with wife and kids, and life stuff is happening. So as you progress as an artist, like I don't think that your first project, you just like this seems like what it would be from any like first time person putting out a project. And again, we don't necessarily know where he is. we don't necessarily know where he is in his journey because that's also a question, like whether it's
we know
genuine
exactly
or not.
where he is.
But
I mean, he's at the very beginning.
But I'm saying,
everything.
I'm saying, yeah. But I'm saying, like, as far as like the ability to, because some people like get saved and then they go like, hey, I was doing music over here, and then so now I'm gonna do music for you. But you haven't like spent time to get seasoned yet. You just still raw and zealous, and that's cool. Mm-hmm. But as you grow more, like more of those things start to produce manifest themselves.
I would say the reason why this was easier for him to do is because the only thing he had to do is do what his genius is in, and that's production.
But I don't think he did a lot of production on this. I think most of production.
I'm talking about like hearing the sound.
Okay, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? So not so much him like doing everything, but Kanye knows sound.
Yeah. I was about to say, I love the way this album sounds.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's his lane. Right. Like making an album that sounds great, and he didn't, and like for instance, like like when Malice came out and tried to do his thing, was trash.
I wasn't feeling it.
You know what I'm saying? Like it was trash. And a lot of times when people first start, like that first album where you come from slinging and doing whatever you was doing in the street and whatever, your first album where you almost saying the N-word and all that stuff.
No, you like that was like
I thought that Bill said the N-word for like 7 years.
You know what I'm saying? But like that album.
I mean, in a song.
I keep telling Shock he missed his opportunity at the end of No Man to drop the N-word, bro. I promise if he would have dropped it, I would have threw the whole scene, just the whole car away.
Hey, I promise. When I was listening to the album, when that song came on, I texted him. I definitely texted N-word to him. I said, listen, I don't know what you was on when you did this, but get on that every track.
Okay, we're gonna double back to the Shop project here in a second, but I think that with like this being his first thing, like I'm glad that it wasn't what we heard on Sunday service. I'm glad it wasn't.
Oh, you mean just the redoing?
That's what I thought it might be, and I would have been mad at that because it's certain. Didn't he do one to like So Anxious or something?
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah. As many cheeks have been slapped to that song. There's no way that I can rock. I hear you, Ye. I can't knock that one. I can't knock that one. I can't follow you on that one, bro.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like in terms of this album, like even though I wish there would have been more depth, like I think I forget who I said it to, but I was like 2004 me would have loved this album. Like when I was trying to find something that was like explicitly Jesus, I'm listening to Pigeon John, LA Symphony.
That's what he made it for though. He made it for that. You know what I'm saying? Like he made it for the new people.
Yeah.
That's all he can make. At this point.
Yeah, I mean,
that's all he knows.
Like I said, because he's not seasoned.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So to me the true test is if he follows it up with something, what does it sound like?
Okay. Yeah. Now I will say this: before this project dropped, I was very, very skeptical.
Hold on, before you go there, I got one more musical point.
Go ahead.
So first time I listened to the album, I played on Spotify. And I didn't have it on like repeat, so it just goes into the next song. And it went straight from Jesus is Lord
to Flashing Lights.
No.
Oh, that's what it did for me.
It went from Jesus is Lord to Devil in a New Dress.
Oh, snap.
Bruh. That's one of the best musical experiences I've ever had in my life. Like to go from Jesus is Lord to the beat from I was just my son was in the car with me. I was like, yo! He was like, you good? I'm like, fam, that's
what I'm excited to see is if he comes back and he can start to do some of the same musical things and content wise what he was doing before in Twisted in Graduation, and he knows how to communicate his new worldview.
So basically be like Swoop. Because that's pretty much what Swoop does. Swoop is
But you know what? I think that we need. I wish it would have been a Flashing Lights on here.
Well, hold up, listen. I listened to it on Spotify the first time, and Flashing Lights was the song it went to. And so like I'm just kind of like working, and so I'm hearing the beat, the Flashing Lights, and I'm like, wait a minute, you know what a gospel twist is?
How's he gonna put a gospel gospel twist on the video.
Flashing Lights is my favorite all-time song. Like,
Yeah.
That song is absolutely
That
incredible.
mother's nuts.
He's gonna have the first lady walk into the truck to get the briefcase. Armor bearer come out there.
They gonna help some homeless man on the truck. Like, what?
That was a bizarre video.
It was, bro.
That was nuts.
Oh man.
All right, so I need to
Yeah,
cut you off.
no. But what I was gonna say, like before the project dropped, I was very skeptical of what it was gonna be. The reaction from like all sides. Now my thought or my opinion of it has changed. But I was really skeptical of the fact that like, what are we doing here? Like, is this like? Because we know, we've Kanye's a public figure. We've had the privilege or whatever to follow him publicly, like to see like some of this stuff, and so his failures and his successes are right there before us. Like we know them, and they've been highlighted over and over again. So when you start to say like, oh, things are changing or my life has changed, like there are some things that you're doing even in that process that rub some people the wrong way, that we don't understand or whatever. And so I'm skeptical, like, okay, are you genuine in what you're doing? Like, is this like your rebrand? Is this like to try to, try to get back in the good graces of black people? Because the reality is, whether you are like a church folk or not, like church and gospel runs so deep in the black community that's like it's like the cheat code, like to like get back. You know what I'm saying? White folks will come and over the hip hop and do they Miley Cyrus or Justin Bieber, do they whatever. Then once they get that I'm just doing my phone straight up. One less slowly, you know what I'm saying? Once they get those fans, they go back, and they do their rebrand and get back in their stuff. So I don't know, like that's how I was kind of feeling. Like, is this just the rebrand? And if it is, like, how dare like we just like jump on it and be cool with it? And then also, if this project was just remixes of secular songs like the So Anxious joint, like I was waiting for like believers just to be like, oh, this is fire. When Christian hip hop artists been doing that all the time, and we've been murdering them.
Back when, especially y'all two was still making music, like that was a thing where you would flip. We done a song where we flipped a Kanye beat. We did a song together, and it's like people would try to make. We did this. We was on the same project, so it's like people would try to make it seem like it was whack or corny if you did that. Except, why is it whack and corny if we did it then? But then he come out and he do these Sunday services and it's not. And I, as a person I would consider myself a fan of Kanye for the most part. I didn't like some of the projects, but I'm a fan of Kanye mostly. And so I'm like, what he's doing is dope though. I'm not going to deny that he's got great singers. The harmonies sound great, and listening to it in the headphones, even on the stream, it's like, bro, this is
sonically it's amazing.
But I can't rock with it because I feel like I would feel hypocritical to be like, if Ye do it, it's great. Yep. But back when we was trying to do it, everybody smashed us for it. And so basically, you stop doing it, you do original content, and now just because he's popular, he comes and he gets to do it, and everybody's like, oh, this is amazing.
Right.
Like, to me, it depends on who's saying it though, because it was those super walking on water Christians. They were the one that's saying you shouldn't use that beat.
That's a different group.
It wasn't the secular people that was saying that was trash. It was the people like, oh, you shouldn't use that beat. It's blah blah blah. Use from that.
No, it was three different groups. You got those people who was just like, that beat's evil. Don't touch it. Then you had people who was like, that's just corny. It wasn't that it was evil. It's just that's corny. And then those people like, it's cool. But what I'm saying is like the people who like it was to me the people who it was for, who the song should have been for.
They wasn't tripping off of it.
Yeah,
It was like everybody else talking about, oh, that's corny or that beat is evil and stuff like that.
Church police.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it was those people. And then for some reason, like these hip hop Christian artists actually cared. I'm like, why y'all caring about what they're saying? But I'm not even for them.
I respect the fact that if you don't like it, I respect the fact that you don't like it.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But to call it wrong, you have to prove to me why it's wrong.
But also, listen, we have to
And they never
acknowledge.
could.
We have to acknowledge that the climate of Christian hip hop or whatever at the time has evolved. I mean, even this version of Reach, which is still like the biggest, Christian hip hop, label or whatever. Like this version of Reach would have been like would have been chastised by the 2010 version of
They
Reach.
were. Look at what happened to the show.
You know what I'm saying? So
Hey, I don't want to go on a tangent. Right, man.
listen, I'm just
I
saying.
was
So
there.
like,
I was around during that time when Show was trying to do what Reach is doing
now.
at the moment.
Listen,
It-
yeah, go ahead. Because I don't want him to go there because we can go there. It's not for this. It's not for
Everybody had their
this.
stones in their hands. Everybody had their stones in their hands, throwing it at them. And then after round, like they was just probably chilling, just driving when they're like, yo, dude, get on. You know what I'm saying? Dude, get on.
Hey, bro, what's right though?
Dude, get on.
I don't want to say nothing on camera, man.
Yeah.
We talking about that okay.
Yeah, we talking about that.
But back to what you was.
I don't rap no more. I can say whatever I want to. I'm about to
Y'all did my dog dirty. Y'all did my dog dirty.
I actually hit him one day and just texted him out the blue like, yo, I appreciate what you did, and I just want to tell you, you was brave for what you did. It's crazy to see you go through what you went through and to see where everybody's at. He was just ahead of the curve. Everybody that's always ahead of the curve gets the darts and the arrows. So I was like, yo, I just wanted to give you a props.
And I seen him chilling with them not too long ago. So
Yeah,
that means,
I think all that's cool. Yeah.
But shout out to him for not running back. I mean, he might have had beef with it at first, and they had to maybe hash some things out. But shout out to him for not just going on social media and be like, hey.
But the reality of it, it was needed for the culture. Like it was needed. It was needed for that climate shift because the reality is it expands the reach of the reach of the gospel. So that's kind of why I, especially hearing Kanye's album, I don't have any like issue with like what happened, because at the end of the day, like the reach that this has is greater than probably any Christian hip hop artist that we have right now.
Yeah, and so to bring this back to a kind of a Kanye-centric loop, kind of close that loop. You know, he said, I'm gone. I'm ahead of my time, sometimes years out. So the powers that be won't let me get my ideas out. You know what I'm saying? And so like that, I mean, Kanye, most of his career has been kind of on these waves where if you look at the soul, I mean, granted, people had already been doing samples, but the sped up souls, Chipmunk sample, like him and Just Blaze kind of on top of that. Then he starts, I mean, I don't want to say he fathered a lot of styles, but I mean, that singing on records. That singing on records.
There's a lot of Kanye babies out here.
I mean, we have Dre.
Drake.
We have
808. We just had this conversation before I came in.
Yeah, I mean, so, but you look at each album was a different sound, and so he was experimenting, doing different things, and he was literally always a little bit ahead of the curve. I mean, even when 808s came out, I remember 808s was, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I swear I was the only person that loved that album from the jump. I love that album from the jump.
I did not listen to that album for about a year because people were just killing it. Like, this is not hip hop. What is all this singing? And then I just went, and I feel bad for loving the album because the album is like Kanye pouring his heart out at like one of the worst points of his life.
That's what I loved about it. It was real art.
But for me, like if it's 75 degrees or like 70 degrees and it's a nice sunny day, I will let the windows down and be singing these sad, melancholy, terrible songs at the top of my voice. Like, yo, like Paranoid is one of my favorite records from him.
Fam,
Dang, and then we did that song.
And we did, that's why
Yeah.
we did Paranoid. Like, we did
So,
that mixtape. I loved it.
That's
Has
hard.
anybody else been to see the Jesus King movie?
I didn't
I didn't
even
see
know
it.
All right, so I went and seen it, and it's real short. It's about as short as the album. It's about 30 minutes. But it's
Also, 27 minutes for a project. Like, I mean, my lunch break is longer. You know what I'm saying?
But that's smart. That's smart
yeah.
though, because this generation's attention span is not very long. So you
Yeah,
can listen to
Summer Walker ain't made a 3-minute song yet.
yeah.
Like,
Facts,
it's just how they make
Facts,
songs.
facts.
And Ye was that short too. It was real short too.
It's
I
not
remember
mixing yet. Yeah, it was
I remember
shit.
when both albums were shorter than Murder Boots third. But who's still singing
I know too.
So the project, the movie is
It was the same.
there's like no script, but no script to it. It's literally a scripture pop up on screen and the choir sings a song, but it's all done in this real artsy way. You don't even see Kanye in the film till halfway through it, which is crazy. But he does a version of Street Lights on there. Fam. Made me want to go turn on 8 because I love Street Lights. That song was absolutely amazing. You talking about summertime, windows down, I will be that guy. Like that song is absolutely amazing. Y'all get a chance to go check it out, it's dope. Just especially if you're into like real artsy stuff. And to hear it in IMAX and surround sound, it's a crazy experience.
Now this is part of my conspiracy theory, whatever, because you were just talking about how Kanye has always been like ahead of the curve, ahead of the wave, right? Mm-hmm. And so in my head, I'm like, okay, is this just the next wave that he's trying to get on ahead of? Does he think that there's gonna be like this new wave of like religiously conscious, right? Because even like Chance the Rapper, people like kind of
Kendrick his last album,
and so if there's a lot of like, because what I'm realizing, like, people love to be spiritual.
That's a fact.
They love to be spiritual, but it's when you put Christ and say I'm a Christian, like that's when we start to get a little dicey. But if I can get some dope music with a little spirituality behind it, and then I can choose which spiritual whatever I can do, like then we can do that. And and also I'm realizing that this is I'm gonna go over a small tangent, but like. Non-believers love to use biblical principles correctly and get benefits from the things that God has given us to be built as His children, but they use it and then they like, oh, why you do it? Yeah, because you're not doing the things that He called you to do. And for instance, everybody that I've seen who go on like their marriage rebrand, where they've been something shaky in their relationship, and they go sit down with somebody, talk about what's keeping their marriage back together. It's like, oh man, we went and talked to our pastor and we pray every night, and I pray with my wife every night and do this. But believers out here got whole marriages that are about to be thrown away. You know what I'm saying? I ain't prayed with their wife not at one time. You know what I'm saying? Just like we use like those are principles that we should be having, but we don't do it. But other people use it and see benefits from it. But that's just my own little tangent.
One of my things, back to what you said earlier about, is this the newest brand?
I'll talk to you more about that. I'm gonna talk to you more.
Yeah,
we'll go through that. But is this the newest brand? One of the things I did first before I listened to the album was I watched the interviews. So before, I've been saying for a minute, right? Younger me would have just been happy with the music, but so many things have come and gone through church music, like Snoop's gospel album. You know what I mean? So many people will use.
I never listened to it.
So many people will use us as a rebrand.
Oh, that did happen.
Yeah, we're trying to use us as a rebrand.
I heard people.
And so what I do now is I'll try to listen to one specific thing first. Do they have the gospel right? Because one thing to just say, I love Jesus, I love this and that. So I went and watched Kanye's interviews first before I listened to the album. And both the Zane Lowe interview and the one he did with Big Boy, like he has a very firm grip of what the gospel is. And there's an interview that his pastor did where he sat down he said, I sat down with Kanye multiple times and went over with him what the gospel itself was. And he came to the conclusion that is what I want in my life. So that helped me to bring my guard. And I'm still watchful.
Cautiously optimistic. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? But I'm very, very cautiously optimistic, as you said. But when he was seriously like, nah, y'all understand? Like, it's Jesus alone. Like, I'm not here for me. I'm not here for nothing else. Like, Jesus saved me from my sins. Period. Like, there is no other way. Like, on the Big Boy interview, he said there's paradise or there's Fahrenheit. That's it. Y'all gotta figure out which one it is.
That's a bar.
He said there's paradise or there's Fahrenheit. There is no in between. He said everybody can say, well, I'm gonna get that because I'm a good person. He said, you can try it if you want to. Like, he had the gospel down.
Tweet, man.
Like, it's other stuff that he's saying that about, as a new believer, I'd be like, I used to say,
I see this man on the album. I did that in the bar.
But here was the other thing. He said, so we all listen to Joe Budden podcast a lot.
Yeah.
I remember when Maul said he went to Sunday service back in like June or July. He said it wasn't a church thing at all. It was just like some people getting together to vibe, whatever. All kind of different religions is there. It wasn't nothing like that. And so he was like, how did it get to where it's at now? But on the interview with Zane Lowe, I do believe, Kanye said, when I first started off as that. He said, but somewhere around the time of Coachella is when I actually became a born-again believer. And then everything started changing from there to where it turned into a specifically Jesus-centric message now. So as I sit back and I watch all that from this point of view, I see this completely different than I saw R. Kelly when he saved me. Right? Because at least you have that part right. And one thing that's never going to happen is the enemy is never going to use the gospel correctly. Ever. Because he don't want that message to be out.
Now, could it be, because I didn't listen to interviews, but I think that there's multiple examples of people like doing stuff or seeking to use like biblical narratives and then mess around and got saved, like messed around and got rocked by the gospel. So could it have been, because I don't know, like could it have been Kanye just like, oh, I'm on my, maybe he was on a rebrand thing, and then somewhere like he really had an encounter with like God. It was like, oh snaps, like. But this is all speculation. I don't know.
And that's the honesty of it all, is that we don't know yet. We haven't had conversations. We've heard what he said, and one thing that has been consistent with Kanye is that he's always been pretty transparent. Like he said stuff that I thought was completely stupid, and then I think he said some stuff where I was like, dang, I didn't think about that. So he's like ran the gamut. That you never felt like Ye was being like putting on airs for anybody at any point. He was on national television and said George Bush hates black people. Yeah. Just out on the whim. It's just he just seems to say whatever he thinks. It seems that way.
He all over the place when he speaks, but he does say what he thinks.
But to me, so now when he shifts his conversation, it's like, man, we don't know him personally, but when have we known Ye to just throw out some stuff just to rebrand himself?
Yeah.
Like we haven't known that, and the way I see it is like I can listen to your music and I'm like, well, this is what it sounds like. I'm not responsible for approving your salvation.
Facts. That's not my job.
So I'm like,
I feel that.
I like this album. He seems genuine. Yep. Even if he's not, not to get into that bag, but a lot of the gospel songs we like are not made from people who genuinely love serve God.
I'm going to respond to that. I'm going to respond to that because I'm going to say this. It's real. It's funny.
Oh, it's funny. Okay.
It's funny. It's real funny.
Oh, it's funny.
That when it comes to Kanye, we want to
right.
We want to say, is he genuine or is he doing his stuff?
Right.
When those same people that's up there doing worship service, I've done dirt with. You know what I'm saying?
No, you're right.
So you singing Happy Morning Jesus when we was doing dirt.
Listen, keep
the other night.
Keep the same.
You know what I'm saying? So and that's what I'm saying. Like, listen, man, I'm all for that, but I'll say if it's over here, it has to be over here too.
I actually think that's where some of it comes from, though.
What you mean?
It can be convicting to have a Kanye for real be saved.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been out here wilding.
You been in church every week.
But I mean, but the thing is with that, as far as the whole, is he genuine? Is this a rebrand? I mean, one, Kanye has always had religious themes. Like,
that's true.
I mean, from Jump Street.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, listen, my introduction to reintroduction to quote unquote secular music, because I went 3 years without listening to anything secular, was I had people at my job knew I was Christian and kept bugging me to listen to Kanye's album because of Jesus Walks. Like, people, you gotta listen to this dude. He got a song called Jesus Walks. You know, got all falls down. Like, you gotta check him out. I think you like it.
That's a great.
You know what I'm saying? And so, like, that was my introduction. And so, like, as far as whether or not he is genuine or not is not for. I mean, time will tell.
Facts. Yeah.
Like, and it's so for right now, you seem genuine, and so the fact that you seem genuine is enough for me.
Yeah.
But you know what's
I'm
tough?
gonna treat you like a brother at this point.
But you know what's tough is, like any of us, to have our struggle with being a Christian, like being put on like full display, and like critiqued all the time.
I couldn't imagine.
Like that gotta be tough. So now we judging a dude who who is trying to walk out his salvation like in public.
A very public eye.
That's
probably
tough,
the most public.
because my current walk is a little like don't need extra light on it. Y'all need my current walk is a little dusty.
Going extra light.
Nah.
And it's that's kind of my whole point is, my thing is whether or not he's genuine, you already hit on it. Like, you have the gospel from a musical perspective being pushed out into the mainstream, and like any way we've ever seen it. And so for us, we should embrace Kanye as a brother. Try to give him sound advice, counsel, wisdom, and at the same time have conversations with people, because the gospel's been put on display. Like, regardless of his sincerity or not, the gospel's been put on display. So now it's time for us to, for those who are willing to have this conversation, for us to be like, yo, like, God, like, send people my way. You know, be open and receptive when these conversations happen to talk about this album. And then this will automatically pivot to, like, I've already seen people in groups like, yo, man, I had a conversation with an atheist who heard Kanye's album. You know what I'm saying? I've seen people at work talking about Jesus is King. Like, this is crazy to me to see. Like, this is, in my wildest dreams, this is what I wanted CHH to be.
Like
I want
this
it to be like.
It would have never been like
no.
CHH would never be like that. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because CHH was for CHH. That's what it was for. So they were making music for people who rock with their music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they were about them. And they were about climbing over each other. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you go to a spot, you only go to a concert, you only go to support when you on program. And then when you're not on program, you mad like, why they on program and I'm not on program? Y'all can't so I don't.
The Christian music industry, the CHH industry was.
So it was all like crabs in a bucket to me. It was all crabs in a bucket, and that's why I started listening to it.
Not for everybody.
Not for everybody, but
I just want to make sure I say it.
It's not for everybody, but it was a big percentage of it. It was a big percentage of it.
Like, none of y'all like that.
Like, but also we're not gonna act like Kanye came in here and was like, and because he put out a Christian album, then we just gonna negate everything that CHH has done or whatever.
It doesn't negate it.
You know what I'm saying? But
It doesn't negate it at all.
We're not gonna do that. However, what I do think that we should be encouraged that this should be the spot that we want those people, because first of all, everybody listens to Kanye, but for the people that do, this is the perfect place where we want to have them. Now we have a bigger inroad to have conversations. Now what we do with those conversations and what we do with that. Now that's the scary part to me. It's like, are we prepared for those conversations? Are we prepared? Are our local churches, are our leaders, are our pastors prepared for those type of conversations and to love? Because I think there may be in some communities, an influx of people come into churches. It's like, you know what? It may something may prick your heartstring. Let me go check out this church. Man, I'm gonna go to church with grandma or mama or whatever, or church down the street. Once you get these people there, then what?
I think the bigger thing is, I don't think it's that the institution of the building is one thing. I think the bigger thing is us as individual believers. Because, like he said, you at work. The pastor ain't at work. I think it's a good time for me to be able to look at the person at work and to start walking with them life on life, and they can see, look, I'm gonna be open as I want to be with this conversation. I think it's a good time for us to be more open and dialogue with what we actually go through too. What it looks like to be a believer who struggles.
Not to stop your emotion, but real quick, I think that is some of the issue and why people who are outside of Christianity or even Christian music or whatever didn't relate to us in some points. I say them because I was pretty real about certain things, but like when you don't make people realize that you haven't figured it all out yet. Mm-hmm. You can know it, but if you don't be like, bro, I'm not here because I got it together. Right. I'm here because I understand that I need this, or I understand that the Lord, I'm useless without Him, and I'm going here to be impacted by something that's going to change my life and move forward. So yeah, you drink or you do whatever you like, bro. Don't worry about all that. Right. Like, come on, like it's people here to do that too, and maybe we're working through it. And maybe it's somebody, people that you abused your wife before. Honestly, there's people here that have done that too, bro. Mm-hmm. Like we're just people. We just realized what we needed and we came here. Mm-hmm. And I feel like because it was so judgmental at certain points, it was like it appeared that we didn't want nobody else here.
I also think as I'm growing, especially when I have kids, like as we get older, as we grow, we know that there's a lot of nuance to the gospel. Like everything's not black and white. But if I'm responsible for preaching to a large group of people, I feel like sometimes we have to use like the parent method, right? I have small kids, right? And right now I tell them, don't touch the stove because it's hot, whatever. But they don't really know, like, it's don't touch the stove. I don't want you to get burnt. I don't want you to set something on fire. You know, you can burn the house down. Now we gotta find a place to live. Insurance is gonna go up. I gotta remodel all that stuff. So there's way more to it than just don't touch the stove. But all you see is a list of do's and don'ts and rules and regulations. But you're not at a point for me to, if I explain this to you, you don't understand premiums and deductibles. You don't understand like what it means for us to have to relocate. You don't understand that. So all I can give you right now is do's and don'ts. The problem is we get to people and tell them the do's and don'ts, but we don't walk them through.
That's what I'm saying.
The next step is like okay, this is what a deductible is. This is like we don't walk them.
So here's the problem. I think you just hit the problem on the head. Where do we start telling people the do's and don'ts? We shouldn't. We should start off by telling them this is about relationship. It's ain't about a list of do's and don'ts.
Yeah, for real.
You know what I mean? Like, this is about relationship. You're gonna fall. You're gonna mess up. It's gonna happen. But grace is given. Understand that this is what's happening. You're not doing this because you're not doing this by a list of things. You're doing this by a list of, man, you saved me and I love you. I want to live a certain way for you. It's not, I have to live. Look, your sin's paid for. Period. Because one of the things that people are running away from is the fact that they can't stop sinning. They're like, you know what? And then they see somebody else do it, and they see the pastor do it, and now all of a sudden it's a matter of everybody's hypocrites. Yeah, we are hypocrites. Duh. Why do you think we invited you here? Right? And it's
I don't think you're only a hypocrite if you pretend that you don't do anything wrong. But if you're like, bro, we're here because we make mistakes.
Right.
That's those people are not hypocrites. It's people that, and guess what? Some of those people have issues that they don't deal with like that anymore. That they got like, man, but it's because I've grown. I had a cousin who was going through that thing where he was like, bro, like, man, I can't stop doing it. And I'm like, bro, don't worry about. When you go to the gym, you don't worry about bench pressing 350
today. Right.
Bro, bench press the bar. That's all I can do. So what, man? Bench press the bar. We'll work you up. Don't worry about it. And there's certain things that you'll lose a desire for, bro. And you can't understand that until you get in there, right? You have to, but it's a path you walk. It's a race. The Bible talks about running with endurance for a reason. It's a race and it's a long one. Stay, just don't faint. Don't be weary in your way of doing, because you'll reap in due season. You know what I'm saying? So,
but like if we do that with this influx of people that's coming in, if we get a gang of people that start coming in, and there's a bunch of believers around that can be like, yo, let's walk this out. This is all about God's grace. If you just look at Kanye's example, like he on the interview, he talked about, he's like, man, it's not about me being perfect. He said, shoot, there's times I was on some sites I shouldn't have been on, but God's grace is good. He covers me. I don't have to be perfect, right? So if we can walk them through that, if it does, God forbid, it does come out that this whole thing from Kanye was a facade.
Yeah.
How many of them that come because of the facade will stay because we showed them some people just ain't what they say they are?
I think that's the challenge right there.
Right, but it's not.
Even if he like fall or stumble like we all do, right? Public. It's just because his is gonna be public. Like that's gonna be for some people that's gonna be like the nail in the. Oh man, I told you it wasn't like. But no, we can't do that. Like because you did the same thing yesterday.
Exactly.
Nobody can sing that thing.
No TMZ.
Yeah.
The internet is so nasty to where I feel like they're just trying. Everybody's just trying to be the first one to have said this. Like to be the first person to be like, Kanye's a believer. I was one of the first people on the train, or Kanye's faking. So if it comes out that, you know what I'm saying, that he was lying the whole time or something wild, then they could be one of the first people to be like, I was wilding. Yeah. And so then the whole people was like, bro, what's wrong with, I had posted, somebody got at me, I had posted like, it's okay to not know what's going on with Ye because you don't know him, but hope for all of the best. Hope that that this is real, hope that he's doing well, that his spiritual health is right. And I said, and then just wait. I said, that's okay. Somebody told me I was being judgmental. I was like, that is the least judgmental thing. I mean, he went crazy on me. And the lady did too. And I was like,
people hear what
how did you get judgment? And the album come out, I'm like, yo, I put on Facebook, yo, this Ye is nice. That's what I put. I like the album. I don't have no problems with it. Even if he said some stuff, I'm like, yeah, so what? I mean, I don't have to like everything you did for this to have been good. I don't have to know whether you don't know what I do outside of when you see me. Right. No, we don't know what we do outside of each other's presence. Yeah. It don't matter. If you present what you present to me, I'll rock with that. I'm not the judge of your soul and your heart and your intentions. That's for the Lord. Right. I'll pray that everything is great. And if it's not,
one thing I say about Kanye is why I'm not worried about it being like a facade or whatever, is because if just following Kanye, that we know that he's a very passionate person.
That's true.
And he's so passionate. And if Kanye was saying that they're aliens now, he would be this hard. There's aliens. So he puts all his passion into this. And into whatever his wave is. Yeah. Like whatever he's about at the moment, he puts 100 in it. Yeah. And so at this, he's putting 100 in it. And right now, the only thing we should be doing is hopeful that he's 100 and seeing if he's 100. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So
bro, how come believers don't I don't understand it, man. We should be the people that know that you need grace. Even if you need grace, right or wrong, you need grace. I mean, what I'm saying, like, why wouldn't we be the people?
Man, because there's an underlying thing, man, that sometimes people are hopeful. They won't say it, but they're hopeful for the downfall. Okay. Because that's where the I told you so. That's where the tantrums go in, and that's when the new wave takes over Facebook. That's when every status is about this, because that's where the action is. That's where the talking, the gossip is, when people fall off.
But also, if I don't like you for alternate reason,
it sucks.
If I don't like you for an alternate reason, I'm already like reserving. Well, I don't really trust this dude. Like to begin with, all right, we'll see what you're talking about. But it ain't gonna be. I ain't gonna be listening to this or whatever. And watch the first time that he is a human, which we all are. Then like there's gonna because the reality is I want as many people to fall in love with my dad as possible. Right? And if you are using your platform to bring him fame, then I'm gonna be good with that. And I'm gonna hope and pray that you continue to use yours and as I use mine.
Especially when his talk is matching the music. You know what I'm saying? Because that's one of the issues that I have.
My talk don't match this podcast sometimes.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm talking about
Like, you know
but the
what I'm saying?
overarching though. We're not talking about individual moments. I'm talking about the overarching, the direction.
Yeah.
His direction of Kanye, his heart seems to match what his music is saying, and it kind of always has though, good, bad, indifferent. And that's the reason why I haven't rocked with certain people who have made certain gospel songs, because it seemed like they were just doing the spiritual thing.
Mr. Reaper, yeah.
Because it's like this.
He's
Like,
like me.
yeah. Bro, that's so
Nobody.
That's
I don't want to get it.
It is nasty.
That's nasty.
It make you feel
Hey, what's the infatuation with Ty Dolla $ign? Like, why do people like go to him?
His tone.
I'm like, people like really go to Ty Dolla $ign.
I mean, Ty writes a lot.
Yeah, he
writes a lot. Writes a
I
lot of
write a
people.
lot of hits.
His tone.
I don't know why people like go to him.
I don't like him as himself, like his own music. But
He's right.
I never really feel him though.
He's really good on hooks, and he writes for a lot of people. He writes a lot of hits.
Yeah.
And sometimes he just,
I just
in the
never
right
knew.
circles.
Like I just never knew. Like, dude, like they like Ty Dolla $ign again. Like, why does he keep popping up?
Yeah.
He just be in the right.
He's
Sometimes
writing for a lot.
sometimes you just be in the right circles where they just keep calling those people like, "Hey, get tired." Like, oh, I know his work.
So you mean to tell me you can't think of like any specific artist in any genre on any realm that that person is just a person for this season?
JR was there for a minute.
Cam was there. I wasn't going, but they are. And some of those guys wasn't that dope. However,
I'll put my hand down.
Dang, hold up.
He was in that circle too.
no, but he's not gonna leave him out of that circle. But he
circle.
should have had more time in that circle than Anyway, I digress.
We definitely had
I digress. But I digress because but anyway, like that's just how it is. So sometimes just in that circle.
Just have it, yeah.
But I mean, like, I
shoot, I got on like 3 songs by people, you know what I'm saying? And I just happen to be in the right place at the right time.
In Nebo City. When they flew over Nebo City.
Even if your face is on the
You were innocent.
That's kind of hard, too. That's kind of hard, bro. I was allowed to go home.
should have been there up there for long.
I'm going to go over there, too. He was the poet. He was the poet. He got a lot of lines.
Listen, with all 100% honesty, this was 100% Deacon Bar.
Listen,
We was writing, and I got stuff, and he was like, "Bro, put that in there." And I was like,
Say less.
I got it.
Listen, Side made a lot of money out of that.
Yeah, I had to deliver it. And the beginning, the Plinko joint, all that was me. That lead up was good.
Okay, cool.
You definitely saw the transition. You tell me he turned that corner in the verse.
Oh, okay. This must be the Tre part. All right, cool. Innocent.
That beat. Straight to Higgins.
Man, every I went to a concert, man. I'm up at the front, man. I see people come out, see Tre on stage. I'm like, I know him. Like, he ain't supposed to be here.
Trick got song placements just for being like don't host.
People thought I was on actually had songs on the Bible on my side, bro. Like
It's your boy. Yeah, that was hard. I like what you did on that one.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good album.
That was a fire.
That's a case. That's a classic.
I like what's the name? What's that one after that? Soul Food. Soul Food 1 is my favorite.
Sauce is dope.
Yes,
he is.
Sauce is dope. I can't think of no whack that Sauce put out.
The first one.
Yeah, the first one.
I was just with that one.
What was the first one?
And then that one that went real quick when he made
That
real quick when he made with somebody else.
all about that album.
Teaching.
Yeah, I forgot about
But
that.
ever since then,
But that was his Jesus is King though.
Yo, but he
everything.
murdered everything after that.
Like that was Sauce's Jesus is King.
When
I'm not mad.
he came
It was
down
just
here,
everything.
Well, I mean, Salt Shaker.
like No,
he was the highlight of the
He was
song.
the highlight. Debt free.
And I love
fire.
Biggie, but I love
Yeah.
Biggie, but that was
Yeah,
more
yeah, I
than
like that. I
And
like
then he
that.
came,
I
and then
like
he
that.
came with Pointing to the Cross at the red party.
Yeah,
That one,
Hey, that was
Every time we gonna do
That
one of these, Sauce ends up on the conversation somehow.
Shout out to
What-
it, bro. Hey, shout out to Sauce, bro. Like, you need to come do a podcast.
That's my
bro.
guy.
What's
That's
going
my
on?
guy.
But
So I got a question. You got something?
Well, yeah, because
Go
I mean, we kind of talked about. We gotta. If we're gonna have this Kanye conversation, we gotta talk about it. His association with Trump, like from a both Christian and non-Christian world.
Like, you don't think a bunch of Christians voted for Trump?
Well, but again, we're talking about.
Bunch of Christians.
talking about the black community, though.
But black
Yeah.
community has associated this. When you talk about rebranding, has associated this with the black church, right? And so basically saying that he's using the black church to try to get away from these comments or to deflect from these comments.
What if he realized like he made a mistake? What if he?
No. He doesn't. No, he doesn't think that was a mistake.
He's standing by what
He's
what he
standing
said.
by what he said.
So he said that.
He doubled.
Yeah,
He doubled and tripled down.
He said the MAGA hat was God's trolling liberals or something to that effect, right?
Something like that.
Something like that. Like that was the biggest troll job to liberals or something like that. So I mean, no, he's standing by his association with Trump. He's standing by his co-signing of it. I do have a question though, and for those watching, those listening, I will hit me up at A1 to LP. That's all letters A1T Health. I want to know how, and this is a serious question. How has Kanye's endorsement of Donald Trump harmed the black community? Because I saw I think she might be a black theologian. She was getting at Lecrae because he was like, "Yo, I like the album, and I hope God uses the album." And she explicitly said that his, slavery was a choice, MAGA hats, co-signing Trump has harmed the black community. And I said, how? I want to know how.
But this is how, because but we are the people that, if for whatever reason, I don't know where it come from, like, it seems like we're always responsible for everything that happens within our culture. Like if something happens, like, especially for me, I was like the only black guy in predominantly white workplace a lot of years. So if anything happened within the black community, I would have to be like the black representative, right? And like, and even once like stuff happens in the news, crime or whatever, like it's like that we have to be personally responsible for everything that happens in the black community. So likewise, like if someone who is viewed high by a lot of people, black and white, shares a view that probably the majority of African Americans or black community does not agree with, they view it as like him causing harm to the entire community because we, for whatever reason, like view like what this person does affects everyone in that community.
I think it's deeper than that with Kanye particularly, because when he said George Bush doesn't like black people, in a sense, most of the community felt that way.
Yeah.
So at that moment, he became a spokesman for us. It was like they said, Kanye speaks for us.
Oh, he's an advocate
And
for
then,
us.
and then as time goes on, something like Kanye bugging. And then when he becomes a Trump supporter, it's almost like
He starts speaking for us.
It's like the WWE heel turn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But me personally, look, I'm a Bible believing, Jesus loving Christian, and I love hip hop. I disagree with just about everything people talk about in their music. I have developed the skill to be able to separate people's music from them as people. Right? That's just something I've had to develop. Everybody else doesn't. A lot of people don't. The majority of people don't have that ability. So for me to speak on this subject, I can't speak on the subject as, like you say, the representation of everybody, because I don't have this. I don't care. Like, honestly, I don't. I don't care if you support Trump. I don't care who he supports. I really don't. I don't care who any of y'all support.
I think people had a
That's
right.
me though. But you have a right.
I think people had a right to do things that I disagree with or think are dumb or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
I can, much like you just said, I'm the same way. And like I can just like, oh yeah, I don't rock with that.
Yeah.
And be cool with it.
Be cool with it.
And be cool with it.
I can rock with your music and not
I
like the lyrics of the song.
Yeah.
I can be like, that's a dope song. It sounds amazing. That person can rap. They got flow. But what they talking about, I don't necessarily agree with.
Yeah.
Right, and I guess that's kind of my thing is like I agree, right? Like when a prominent black person takes what is perceived as an anti-black stance or espouses anti-black ideology or thoughts, then yes, he does become a pawn, whether he wants to, whether he or she wants to or not, becomes a pawn for bigoted and racist white people to be like, well, Kanye said this.
And with it being Trump.
Yeah.
And then knowing how manipulative he can be and how it's like it looks like he's parading Kanye around like this is my little
But I mean,
my little black friend.
But here's the thing though, Donald Trump don't need Kanye West to be Donald Trump.
He don't. But here's
the
thing, bro. Somebody told me this a long time ago. It said when emotions go up, logic goes down.
Come on now.
Right?
Come on now.
You ever any of y'all ever been in an argument with your girl? 10 minutes after the conversation, you sit back and be like, "Oh, I should have said this, because that would have really put the nail in the coffin."
Yeah,
that's because your emotions was up when you was arguing, and when you came down off your emotions, your logic start coming back.
Yeah.
Trump is one of those things that you walk in any room and just scream the name Donald Trump, it's automatically gonna divide. It's something that touches an emotional place for people. So people can't have a logical conversation. I can listen to what Kanye said and be like, you sound completely stupid. But I can also look and be like, I see what you're trying to say, but you didn't say it right. When he said slavery was a choice, I was like, that came across real bad. I listened to Dame Dash's interview. I forgot which one. If I find it, I'll let you put in the link or whatever. He did an interview where he said, working for somebody else, he talked about how the school system puts us in a position where we have to be employees and whatever. We're choosing to be slaves. He said, I think that's what Kanye was trying to say. He just didn't say it right. And when he said it, dude was like, that makes sense. But if you was somebody who was watching the Kanye thing and when he said that, you didn't emotionally turn to, you said what? And you just sit back and think, you'd be like, I see what you was trying to say, but you didn't say that right. Like, what you said.
I hear what you're saying. That makes sense.
You see what I'm saying? So, but, and here's the thing with Kanye. He's always communicated that way.
Always.
He's always been like, talk first and then deal with the consequences.
Well, I mean, George Bush doesn't care about black people was a spur of the moment thing.
Hey, you see old boy's face?
It got real.
Shrek 3 coming out.
So when it's somebody, when they're saying something, when it comes to things that we connect to emotionally, when somebody like that says what we're feeling emotionally, we there. But if they don't, it's the opposite.
How much of this is that people feel like there aren't a lot of black voices being heard in general? So when we do get a black voice,
but here's hold on to it.
But here's why does everybody not have the opportunity to be wrong? Just because a lot of people heard it. Like, people aren't smarter because more people hear them.
So here's the thing.
I will say real quick. Just like Kanye West said, he said, I was canceled before cancel culture. You know what I'm saying? So he been canceled. So it's funny how people say that he's hurt black people when everybody always talking about have canceled Kanye.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he's only hurting people when it's convenient. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Like I thought he was canceled. I thought nobody was listening to him. Okay. And then he say something you don't like. Oh, Kanye, he said black people back. He hurting black people. Nah, you canceled him. Remember? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So they only bring him.
He don't speak for us.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So they only bring him back to say he's hurting him. You know what I'm saying? But if he canceled, let him stay canceled then.
So
you know what I'm saying?
So I asked that question not hypothetically. Like I asked it seriously, but I understand what they mean by harm because, like you said, not a lot of black people when they speak, white people listen. Right? Kanye's in that space where he's crossed over, and when he speaks, like we went to the Yeezus concert a long time ago. I mean, hip hop in general is a diverse place, especially when it comes to concerts. But there are certain concerts where there'll be more black people than white people. There were people of all.
There was no dominant no dominant group there.
No, it was multicultural.
It's Kanye.
And so like when you get to that point as a black person, yes you do, whether you ask for it or not, you become a spokesperson for us. Number one. Two, white people are going to listen to what you have to say. So then the weight and the gravity of your words holds a different weight.
Because I think there's enough white people in power that if someone says something you disagree with, you'll just be like, I just disagree with them. As white people, I mean, I'm not a white person, but it seems like you just say, I just disagree with them. Yeah, it was shocking. Shocking revelation, Tre's not white. But I don't think that we have the same voice and power, so that other people in power or influence will listen to. So if you have a person like a Kanye who is clearly an influencer, clearly has the ear of generations of people, like for you to say things that seemingly would be detrimental to the empowerment and the moving forward of people, then obviously people are going to have a problem with that. Maybe the problem is there aren't more voices that are reputable, that have that same influence that are out there. So Kanye can say whatever he wants to. But if Kanye not saying it, who else is there that has that same type of weight to refute or whatever?
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
What if Kanye said, or whoever is in this position, we talking about Kanye, so what if Kanye says that, and then the black community is like, oh, he doesn't speak for us though. Like, he's black, but he's one black person. I think if you said,
I mean, it's kind of like Al Sharpton. Al Sharpton is there, but I don't speak
like Jesse Jackson.
It's different from Kanye because they think white people listen to Kanye.
But if he says something wild, and then you say he let us down or he's doing damage to us, you in turn say that he speaks for you. If you don't represent me, you can't do damage to me.
But and the only reason they say that because they say, oh, he's not represent, he don't speak for me. But they get mad because they say, oh, when Kanye speaks, white people are listening.
Yeah.
Donald Trump supporters are listening, and so they're saying that. So they're saying
racist people don't need more racism to fuel it.
And listen, they don't. But the reason why black people are mad is because they're thinking that he's being this voice for black people. You know what I'm saying? That white people are listening to. There's a difference. There's a difference between being a voice for black people and then being a voice for black people that white people are listening to. Because there's a voice that people may speak for somebody, you know what I'm saying, out there for black people that black people may say, man, no white person listen to that. So but then Kanye do it, you like, and every white person eating that up.
So how do we choose, and this is a whole nother conversation, how do we choose who gets to speak for us?
We don't.
Because is there who do we choose that we embrace as the one that talk to us, and what's the criteria?
We speak for ourselves.
Because on one hand, because this is a whole other conversation. Because on one hand, you've got people who say Kanye speaks for us, and he's not doing a good job. So we'll have T.I. speak for us. I don't want T.I. speaking for me. I don't want Kanye speaking for me either.
That would be a very, what person could speak for a dynamic group of people?
Nobody.
And that's why. That's the reason why.
Why do we put people in that position as us?
That's kind of my question is what. I've had this conversation, a similar one with somebody I work with, and he was talking about leaders and things.
People love to follow.
And I said,
trends following.
People don't just love to follow. People love to follow whatever it is that they want to follow, because it's leaders that could lead you out of the places that you are that you might not want to follow the way they're going.
Also, do we think that there are no group of black people that agree with this version of Kanye? Do we think that
I'm not saying those people aren't there? There's definitely some
we were saying
that agree with Kanye.
That we were saying that there aren't a group of people saying, "Man, this is the Kanye West we've been needing."
I also think that a lot of the conversations, much like we were talking about earlier, have more nuance than just like Kanye is crazy
Right.
or wrong.
Right,
Kanye
that's a
is
fact.
smart and right.
That's a fact.
So he could be saying a couple of things. Everything that Donald Trump has said hasn't been crazy to me. A lot of it, man. But he might have said one thing or two where I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, he don't know how to flip the coin in a coin toss.
He's a big dummy.
He don't know how to handle Halloween candy.
But he's
president,
still
he
the
does a lot of silly
president,
things.
and I live here.
We're here.
Do something good. That's why I'm on board for you doing things well because I still live here.
And so I feel like as black, I think it's black people or any group of people. Because if the Christians, the people who was in Christians in, what was that, Florida or something, that was saying God hates, gay people and all this stuff.
They was bugging.
We could be like, bro, that's not real Christianity. That's not. And I feel like if as black people we say Kanye said something wild, it's like, it's easy to be like, man, this dude is stupid. Man, forget that. It's like, all right, I don't know, Kanye, we all know Kanye has always just said whatever he thought, but Kanye don't really speak for the majority of us and how we feel. Like you said, there's probably a group of people that's like, this is it. I got my MAGA. I've been waiting to rock my MAGA hat.
There might be times my wife say something, I'll be like, I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
And so
It's still my wife.
And if that's the case, now imagine being Kanye famous. His brain may be brilliant in a music fashion, but he doesn't. You might be a better spokesperson on political things than he is.
I'm absolutely better.
There you go. But I'm just saying. So why? So when
we all have areas.
if Ye was a politician, it would make more sense to be like, oh, I can't believe he's representing us like that.
Yeah.
If Obama said that.
But we
And he
all
comes
have
out in the
areas
MAGA hat,
of
and it's
life
like, oh, shit,
that
what is he doing?
somebody that we are like grossly like misled in, but we believe it. Like for someone to believe like the backup quarterback is like the second most important
Put some
position.
respect on that, though.
Job,
Put some respect
you
on that,
know.
though, because you've been looking at these backup quarterbacks. Put some respect on that.
Please don't get
Like,
me
we're
started.
Put some respect on
We're all
that.
misguided in some
Don't get me
places.
started
That's what I'm
with
saying. So like it doesn't
I don't
matter.
work anymore. I'll be all day talking about that.
So it doesn't matter. Like
I've always been confused by it because it's like we respect Kanye for making good music. We don't give a crap what he has to say about anything.
I know.
else.
Yeah.
And listen, when this all
I can care
happened,
less about political Kanye, about all. Listen, man.
I don't care about
make
Yeezy
it make
Kanye.
music.
Yes.
I don't care about
Make a
political
album.
Kanye.
make
All I
more
care-
flashing lights.
Yeah, that's all I
Hey,
care
look,
about.
I don't know what the
So
people
y'all just tell him shut
that
up and dribble?
That's exactly what I'm
listen.
Shut up and
Speaking of that,
Listen, shut up at 808.
saying. Yeah, shut up and
Shut up at 808.
Hey,
Shut up and
listen,
808.
sometimes
That is the title of this podcast.
Sometimes
Shut up
that's
and
the move.
808.
I don't know. Listen, I don't know what the people at Nike do besides make shoes.
Facts.
I like your shoes. I'm gonna buy your shoes. If you come
Shut
out
up
and
and
say
make shoes.
shut
up and make shoes.
Sometimes even with the shut up and dribble thing, LeBron came out and said some things about the whole India and China thing, and I'm like,
Bro, your purse
it's
is shut
okay
up.
to be like,
hairpiece.
So I get now. Listen. Until he learns how to get a good. Listen, Deion Sanders was bald for 20 years and came back with a fresh line. Tory Lanez was
Wright is
back here. He
killing me,
came
bro.
back with a fresh line.
Yo.
LeBron James is on his way to being a billionaire. He can't find a good line.
Fam, why don't you just, you know what, never mind. Come join us, LeBron.
If
If you haven't
Why
seen
won't
us,
he just
If
go
Nick
bald?
Wright and Jason Whitlock figured
Nick
it
Wright
out.
got a new hairline.
Come on now.
He got his stuff coiffed over and over. You telling me that LeBron can't at least give him a look? This is a low amount of hair. Just give me this much, lay it down with a do-rag and allow me across the
It's
top.
something about
You can
him.
fade all this out. You can have your nice
that
skin
boy
back.
hat came off real
He had patches out of it back here. His hair.
and he was like, cuckoo, cuckoo.
Listen.
Hey, that mother look like my 2-year-old covered a pumpkin, dog.
He said, take a while to push the button on your sunroof. It's like somebody was letting the top back a little bit and it stopped right
One
here.
touch sunroof.
Listen. He
I'm
was
like, bro,
gone.
like, that should not be LeBron's struggle.
It shouldn't be.
That's my level of struggle.
This is my struggle.
He got too much money. He should be able to.
Bruh, just go bald. It's not that bad.
I'm with you.
And I don't get why he's holding on to it, especially with the end game. You gotta fix your toupee in the game.
Bruh.
Is he working out?
That's the first time I heard him get called a toupee.
Yo, like,
Actually a toupee.
Hey, my man, your legs front, bro.
It used to be just a hairline. It's a full piece now.
Yeah.
When he had pieces, it was chunks going right here.
Yeah, he got that
And I'm
Steve
like,
Harvey
Brian,
treatment.
what we doing? Like, that works for your commercial. Because nobody's going to be bumping you. You're going to be sweating and getting bumped. You might want to actually have...
He gonna leave that mug at half court one of these days. He gonna be like, oh, wait a second, let me go back and get that mug.
And then the whole internet is shut down.
Bro, all it takes is for the opponent just to grab it and throw it in the second round. That's it.
Yo, it be Patrick Beverly. Pick that mug and throw this thing. You know he the one. He the one.
And he in LA now.
Patrick Beverly gonna drop kick that mug.
He gonna get thrown out there. He doesn't have any reason to hold on to that. He could go ball.
None.
Or at least go get the Deion Sanders treatment. At least.
I did the Brian. I like her treatment. Son.
Your hairpiece should match your your pay status. Like level.
It looks like remember when you was a kid and you get a haircut maybe at home and you'll pick up the pieces and put it in your face. That's what it looked like Brian did. He got his beard trimmed and he took the hair and put it up here. And it's like, hey Brian, you know you can't just glue that down. They don't work like that. I gotta be alright. Like, nah, man, you about to play a whole basketball.
How do we get all the way here?
I thought Carlos Boozer with that Beijing in his hand was the worst thing I've ever seen.
How did we get here?
Listen, I would respect it more if he had this Beijing, this good. I would respect that more.
I mean, Boozer looked like he just took a whole bunch of black paint right before the game.
That mug was shiny.
That was
Yeah, that was it was. That's what it was.
He took that little rep around.
That boy like
I mean, LeBron can at least go get the Doc
He
Rivers.
got the crop haircut.
LeBron can at least go get the Doc Rivers.
Him and Stephen A. Just let it go.
Get the Doc
Kurt Franklin. Kurt Franklin got a hairline now. He could have got the Kurt Franklin, put a part right here. I don't know how they do that. They just like color your scalp. I don't know what they do.
I don't know, man.
I don't know how he grew his hair back. I don't know
All
how.
kind of witchcraft going on.
But if these men that have less money than you could do that.
They can do
You
it.
should be out here with at least a buzz cut and a part.
All right, listen. That was amazing. Listen, so final thoughts before we get out of here, man. Final thought. I just think that like at this point we just sit back and wait, right?
That's all we got.
And encourage and be prepared to have conversations.
My last point I'll make is pray for Kanye. Pray that it's genuine. And for Christian hip hop fans, stop being so corny and trying to say and throw Lecrae under the bus for what they did and use this as your platform to do something.
Yeah.
Everybody has their role to play. Everybody. What if it comes back that because of Lecrae in the way that they got into the industry, that's where the conversation started going around that led to the conversation that led to Kanye giving his life to the Lord.
And that's my thing is that it's so many things that we don't know.
We don't.
And it's okay to not know them.
It's just
so
people.
stop speaking as if you know them. Say less.
The worst thing is people
less.
on social media screaming at the top of their lungs
Right.
what they know somebody's motives was.
Right. Ain't
You
none
don't
of
know
them
nobody's motives.
Listen, I had mad phone conversations with Craig. I don't know his motives. I don't know none of their motives. I don't know. All we can judge is what even the Bible talks about fruit. Fruit is what we see.
Yeah.
The fruit.
The only thing I can say
and that
for
takes
certain
time.
about any of my Christian hip hop artist friends is that Thizzle got that thing going. That's all I know. He keep that.
Y'all check out
The last thing I want to say. That's what I want to say.
Everyone gotta get his final.
I
I
want to hear
that Thizzle album is actually pretty dope and fire.
Smoke into a
And
giant.
make sure y'all check out that We Are the Movement 3. Like that mug is crazy.
Hard.
Like and my wife, we listened to Jesus King, We Are the Movement, and The Thizzle Project, I forget what it's called. But
Small Thing to a Giant.
Yeah, Small Thing to a Giant.
STTAG.
And my wife was like, yeah, for me, that We Are the Movement is the best thing to listen to this whole
It's got a lot of
joint.
them, a lot of ones on there, man.
A lot of them.
That Craig Smith and Sauce joint so far.
To me, that go, no man, like pure gold.
Oh yeah, that's hard.
Oh, jeez.
I'm not mad at the 83 joint.
Yeah,
I like 83 in that bag.
Yeah, that's
I love it.
That's
in
a
that
good
bag.
bag.
Man. That made me go back
and
and
if
listen
somebody
to.
don't put a second verse,
What's the verse I
Good
said
Vibes.
to you? Bag 'em. It made me go back and listen to Bag 'em. And I was like, these Negroes was rapping on this one. And then I had to text him and let him know his verse was trash.
Yeah, he did.
After I told him it was dope.
Yo, sauce verse.
Your verse.
Nasty.
Hey man.
You ain't like my
But
verse.
then it made me.
No, I did.
Some of
I
you forgetting that you
know some of your
rap.
verses.
Just because it's been so long since you for real rap.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I thought you was
hey,
better on
everyone
your
was
stuff.
rapping. Everybody on the song was
I like
rapping.
it better on
Yeah.
your stuff than other.
Like it was I do miss that
Except for
time
that Romans 10:9.
in CHH here. I miss that time because it was just a good time. First Saturday and things. It's a different time.
About 40.
That might be your best verse, by the way.
Romans
Romans
10:9.
10 remix.
Yeah, that he won take that joint. Didn't let me listen to it before. You know,
You told me the story.
Tim
You told me the story. And we was at the.
Hey,
spot.
I'm gonna do my final thoughts. I want the Kanye to go last.
Yeah.
I want the Kanye.
Yeah.
Hey, my final thoughts to this, man. Man, the Bible talks about always be hopeful.
Yeah.
So let's just be hopeful, man. Like that's the only thing we can do, man. And when people are talking to you about the strongest thing you can be out here as a Christian is an example. And so, man, that's your biggest weapon, man, to be an example. And so when people come to you, man, just be an example. You know what I'm saying about you know like what's going on. They may have questions or whatever, man. And people may just wanna let's come to you and they may be saying some crazy stuff, like you know what I'm saying. But just man, be patient, man. Be an example. You know what I'm saying. And just be hopeful, man. And like hope for the best. Like he could actually be about this.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's okay to say to yourself, and it's okay to say that he actually could be for real.
Yeah.
Like that's okay to say.
It's also okay to say you don't like the album.
Yeah. So
Yeah, and that was my
Somebody,
initial
did you
thought.
say that? It was
That was my
somebody-
initial thought.
Yeah,
That
I
was my
mean,
initial thought.
it's like my initial thought is, it was like now listen to it. To me, I like the production on it. I gave production an A. I gave everything else a C. And I said that I didn't feel anything from it. Like it wasn't like any type of emotional connection to any other
Hey, bro,
songs.
on God is when he starts singing, it
Fair.
choked me up a little bit.
That's one of the songs I don't like, but you felt his passion.
And that was the thing. He was hoarse on there, I think. And I was like,
religion.
Give it to him, Kanye. Give it to him.
The best part to me was when you like when the first one, the intro, like the first song, like that part, like I love that. But like I said, the album, if I'm judging Kanye's work, it's bottom tier.
Yeah, it's a
Where would you put it? Where would you put it?
Yeah, I mean it's
probably the worst album he's made.
No.
That's
Gang
definitely-
is the worst
yeah.
album.
It's definitely yeah.
Hey,
It's
listen,
above Yeezus.
that's so trash. I keep forgetting that.
You got it above Jesus?
I got it above Yeezus. I think Yeezus because Yeezus to
I
me.
feel bad about not having it above Yeezus. because
You know
of
what?
the Content, but
Yeezus, I was like,
Yeezus was
you know
so
me, I hated Yeezus when it first hit. But when was the Yeezus tour?
Yeezus
It
tour.
put that ball in a different light.
Yeah,
like,
it put it. Yeah, it
so
was a crazy
I
concept.
think it's a subconscious
I like
thing from
Yeezus.
because I had the thing.
I think if you
That's
separate the concert and just look at the album Yeezus, I think Yeezus has like I think it's like maybe 10 songs, and there's like 2 or 3 like incredible songs on there. There's like 2 or 3 good ones, and there's just like I'm straight. I think
That's
from-
false. Everybody's
from a
everybody's
playback standpoint, to me, this has more playback as you can run it straight through without any.
I actually agree with that.
So that's why I have it above Yeezus.
Okay.
So like after that, then everything else is above it.
Yeah.
I think final thoughts. Like I said, I think it's a good album. I am hopeful that this is the start of a true and genuine walk for him. And I will treat it as such until I have reasons to think otherwise from Kanye himself.
Yeah.
I think as far as the rest of that though, man, like we as a people have to stop looking for perfect messengers. There was only one perfect message.
So you talking?
You know, and you know, with Kanye, he's going to be. He said, even in that slavery was a choice thing. He said, "Listen, I am terrible at articulating myself in any place except for music. That's the only place where I can articulate myself."
Dude, why the heck are we acting like he speaks for everybody when he said I'm trashing this?
Yeah.
He said he
So
said
we
that.
ignore that.
Yeah.
We ignored that.
I will
We
tell
ignored that.
I will tell you one thing that he said that I'm gonna have to agree with him on. We were just talking about this.
Paradise Fahrenheit? What?
No. On the video with Zane Lowe, he made the statement. He said, at this point, he said this. It was so non-arrogant when he said it, but it came
Oh
across
yeah,
with
yeah, I
it.
know what you're talking
He
about.
said, at this point, I am by far the greatest all-around artist to ever walk this planet. It's just not even close. Like, this is a fact. And so,
I saw that clip and I was like, dang, that was hard.
when he said that, I sat back and I said,
And I can't argue with it that much.
if he's not, then who is?
Prince. I mean.
No,
Prince didn't have no sneakers, bro.
Prince, I'm talking about all around what he did as far as art. From
Okay,
his music,
This fashion
Okay.
count?
Even the dang IMAX movie, like, who does this stuff? Like, the stuff that he's done and created with art, and even doing architect, obviously, he talking about doing architecture and stuff like that. This dude mine is different level. He was not on Yeezus tour where he was like, I'm Walt Disney. He's that level of genius.
I feel
take that
bad.
from
I
him.
always have to get quiet when they start talking about like Prince and versus Michael Jackson or
Yeah, we're just talking music.
or
That's
even
what we're saying.
Biggie versus Pac
You gotta
because
put Stevie Wonder.
like that wasn't even
Stevie
my.
Wonder definitely describes the stuff to us that he ain't never seen.
Like,
That's a little.
start talking about music.
Hey, I was talking about that with my homeboy. And I was like, he said, isn't she lovely? And he don't have a clue. He don't know if she lovely. How he know she lovely? About to cry?
About
Let's
wrist.
go.
That wrist.
About a wrist.
It was a baby. He was talking about a baby, man. He was talking about a baby. He wasn't just. Listen, if Stevie was out here judging his babies by their wrist at 1 minute old, he's a wild boy, man. Listen, Ray Charles is a different level.
Stevie a wild boy to be having babies. We
Listen,
can't see.
Stevie's a wild boy that continue to have hair. At this
Listen,
point.
This stylist is a wild boy. This stylist need to be taller than fat.
Hey, what? He was married. Ain't he married still?
Hold on. At
She
some
don't have
point,
no respect for him.
at some point, we need to come in here and have a conversation about how Bobby Womack did
seen
Sam
that.
Cooke.
Yikes.
I seen that.
We need to.
Right.
We need to have that
heard all the story,
conversation.
but I haven't heard it.
Hold on. We got to check out. We got. But anyway, like I said,
Let's
final
go to
thought.
podcast.
Like I said, there are no
Yeah.
perfect messengers, man.
Yeah.
You can feel however you want about Kanye, man, but like, don't allow a couple of things a person says to determine their entirety of how you feel about it. You can call what he said stupid. You can call it trash, dumb, whatever, and that can be true. But as far as his walk, let that man have his walk, and let God be the judge of his actions.
Because at the end of the day,
That way.
it's either paradise or Fahrenheit.
Mm-hmm.
It's Nearest Exit Podcast. Talk to you later.
Bruh.